Hey, yo, what up? I'm Josh Martinez from the Superstar Crossover Podcast on iHeartRadio with my guest, Will Ospreay. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, mate. Just enjoying Vancouver. What about yourself?
Chilling, dog. Listen, I'm in New York City, very, very far away from Vancouver. We'll talk about New York City in just a little bit. But Sunday, Dynasty, um, post-surgery, what do you think will be your biggest challenge this Sunday and beyond for the rest of your career after the procedure you got?
I think honestly, the thing that I'm most concerned about is just that pay-per-view quality that I was able to bring back in 2023 to 2024, and even at the start of 2025. Like I always had a style of excellence when it came to my pay-per-view quality matches. This will be my first pay-per-view back where I will be in a very different formulated match where there is a time limit. There is like stipulations added to it. So now it is just relying upon my ability and my skill that I've learned throughout so many years of wrestling that I hope I can just deliver to the fans something that they can all be happy with.
What kind of pressure do you feel coming back?
I mean, there's always pressure because I think a lot of people are concerned about my well-being and safety, and it's like, well, I do appreciate that. Like, I wouldn't be doing this if there was even the slightest thing that was wrong with my neck. Like I flying colors. There's still like obviously uh, protections that need to be put in place for when I wrestle. But other than that, I've been going hard since I came back. Like I've done the flights over to America. They've been quite easy on me. I've been doing flights over to Japan as well, and the body seems to be holding up very good. But like obviously there's just that mental pressure that I put on myself because it is pay-per-view season.
What do you think the 2019 version of you would say to you right now?
Oh, I hope he'd be proud. Like I hope he'd definitely be like happy with how far we've come because I feel like there was so many like bumps in the road past 2019, like especially with COVID and everything that happened there. Like I had the prime years of my wrestling career in silence. So like to be on the other side of this and actually be like welcomed and like treated like one of their own in another promotion that is uh the best wrestling promotion in the world. I think you would be proud. I hope so anyway.
What scares you most moving forward in your career? Another injury where the recovery time was as significant as it was, or not fulfilling your potential?
I mean that there'll always be like a constant battle with one another. Like I mean, like I worry about getting hurt all the time now. Like it's taken this and like I mean the one thing I will say is a lot of people will give me a lot of shit for just doing this style, and people are like, "Well, are you not surprised that you had neck surgery?" Well, like the way that I kind of see it is, I've been doing this style now for 14 years, and
Hmm.
it's only just happened now. I'm like more than confident in my abilities, and I know what I can and can't do. So there's that added element to it, but obviously there's always going to be pressure, especially from what I was able to leave behind before I got hurt. And I feel like people want that, and obviously with like expectations of like later on down in the year of what people want from me in like in a main event capacity. Like I gotta still be able to put myself in those positions, and I gotta back it up. I can't just talk it; I have to walk it.
When I say the words all in 2026, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
Uh, yeah, the AEW World Championship.
Hmm, I like that. What makes AEW different today compared to when you first got to the company, you think?
I think there's a lot more of a collaborative effort between like the rosters, and I think like there seems to be like a tightening of policing backstage and like checking people on behaviors, and just like I enjoy like the idea that there is like a hierarchy, and there are people that like I go to and that I think are like the standard bearers and the reason why AEW is like still going strong now. So like I think a lot of it now is just everybody's working on the same page. Everybody knows that like what we're trying to promote and what we're trying to achieve.
Well, where do you see AEW in 5 years?
I would like to be doing more stadium, like baseball stadium shows for sure. I think like All in Texas was such a huge success for us. So like to not go down that route, and especially because my the 8 years that I spent in Japan, we all built up to one Tokyo Dome show, which was like it's a baseball stadium. Um, and to see AEW in a baseball stadium, it felt like a modern day Tokyo Dome, like a revamped one. So like I hope we can find like another like 30,000 seater in America somewhere where we can do like another all in. Like I think honestly the art of that whole branding is that we've got to take huge gambles. Like I mean, Wembley Stadium was a huge gamble, and we've paid it off twice now. Hopefully, we can do it a third time. But you know, like I still I'm very much along the lines of like I want AEW to expand, and I want us to be doing huge shows all around the world.
So we have Dynasty this Sunday, and then after that, it's going to be Double or Nothing here in New York City. I believe it's going to be the first pay-per-view in New York City, not Long Island, not New Jersey, New York City proper. What are your memories of New York City? You've been here so many times before, but what memories come to mind from New York City for you?
I mean, I've had some like wonderful moments here, like with Ring of Honor. I got to wrestle in the Hammerstein Ballroom like years ago, and that was like when I first saw like ECW one night stands in that place. I thought like this is one of the coolest venues in the world, and like how lucky I am to get to even be a part of that. And so many people like I mean, people will date it back to like the beginning of like Monday Night Raw, which is so cool. But like my memories honestly of like with AEW in New York was just like how much I really enjoyed like myself and Kyle versus the Young Bucks at a Grand Slam uh back in 2023. I thought obviously it's like one of like a lot of people don't realize this about me, but like I started as a tag wrestler and just ended up formulating into a singles wrestler. But I do have a mind for tag wrestling that I'm very proud of.
Do you have any must-dos when you come to New York City? Like do you get pizza or you have to get some sort of Greek food, anything like that that comes to mind for you or not?
Definitely pizza. Hey, like a New York pizza goes a long way, and like I feel like I think it was it 2019. There was like a WrestleMania weekend in New York City.
It was, sure was WrestleMania 35. That was the last one night WrestleMania.
I remember this everyone was just like flooding the bars and shit like that, and I was sat outside just eating this flipping huge pizza to myself, man. I was so happy.
So it's interesting you bring that up, WrestleMania weekend, because you made your name in the indies. You made a career in just traveling the world, wrestling for a lot of independent promotions. WrestleMania weekend was kind of the Super Bowl for independent wrestling, right? They would take over a city. All these independent promotions would come in. All these independent wrestlers would get work. I mean, how many times did you wrestle that weekend? Do you remember?
Oh, 2018, I remember wrestling like uh I think I've done 9 matches in 3 days. 2019, I didn't do as many. I think I only done 3 matches in the weekend because I think that was the day that we were in Madison Square Garden.
Yep, Ring of
Yeah,
Honor.
yeah, I only done 3 matches. I done me and Bandito. I done me and Tanahashi versus Zach and Minoru Suzuki, and then me and Jeff Cobb at Madison Square Garden.
So with WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia next year, right? That kind of WrestleMania weekend isn't going to exist in 2027. Um, is that something that maybe you will develop along with Tony Khan, or maybe just using your connections in the industry to create this Super Bowl weekend for independent wrestling at some point in 2027? Is that something you even thought of?
Mate, I'll be honest with you. Like it has crossed my mind, especially hearing about like it was going to be going over to Saudi Arabia. Like, why not? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a bunch of wrestling fans that would usually flock to whatever stadium, whatever city that they're in, and I think it's just, I think it's something that we should heavily consider. I hope our boss is considering it because I think the best thing that we could do is on that day that WrestleMania is over in Saudi Arabia, make affordable tickets for one of the greatest wrestling shows ever, and make it a whole weekend. Like do a Ring of Honor on the Saturday, help out a bunch of like indie promotions on the Friday. Do you know what I mean? I just think we could definitely formulate such a great, affordable time for wrestling fans and wrestling families as well. And I think if we don't look at that, then what's the point of even doing it?
A great point. I got to show love real quick to Wrestle Bars on Instagram. Sent me a question uh, that I did some research and discovered that you have a hand with Eve Riot. And knowing
Yeah,
that we're talking about independent wrestling and the connections you have, what's your partnership with Eve Riot? And tell us a
I'm,
little bit about it if you don't mind.
I'm just I'm one of the creative guys. Like I help out, facilitate like negotiations with international talent as well. Like we was able to negotiate great deals with Stardom to bring them in. I've negotiated good deals to bring the AEW girls in. We put them out for meet and greets and make the money back on those flights by just the meet and greets, and then the ticket sales normally for like fill out the wage and as well as the other girls. And we've got like a real good online demands, and I generally like I do love it. Like I think women's wrestling in general is truly the underdog. I like seeing it now firsthand about how little time that women get on independent shows, let alone TV. So then to have a whole show formulated and catered to just women's wrestling is something that is a passion project of mine, and I would just like to see how far we can take it. We done our highest ever gate of 1,200 people. It's 1,200 and something, I can't remember. And for an all women show, that's amazing. I'm so happy with it. Next year for Wrestle Kingdom, I want to shoot for 2,000. So I'm gonna try and find like a bigger venue, and I just hope that like everyone keeps coming to support the girls because it's a great group of people back there, and I can't say enough wonderful things about like how amazing it is to have not only like the girls like put our trust in us, but like the promoter has put his trust in me to carry Eve further, and I feel like we've done that. We've just got more to do.
Love that. Shout out to the Battleground podcast, my boy Battle. He wanted to know United Empire reuniting on Dynamite. Is that kind of a one night only thing? Is this building into something bigger?
I definitely think it can build something bigger. Like right now, it was just needed help with this specific incident. But like seeing the reaction that they got, and I think where like I hear the criticisms of like a lot of people not knowing who these guys are, but then by the end of that first brawl that we did, you knew exactly what each guy brought to the table. That's what I love about that night, that we brought in Francisco Akira, Callum Newman, and Hanare. A lot of people that the AEW audience might not know, but by the end of it, everybody wanted to know more about the United Empire. So for me, I want to do good business for New Japan, and I want to do good business for AEW, and I think they've done amazing business for both companies.
With the evolution of pro wrestling, how important is it for companies to work with other companies to spotlight certain performers on in front of a different audience?
Oh, I think it's hugely important, and I think if you call yourself like a partner, it can't be kind of like a one-way street. Like you can't have like your main champion show up on the biggest show of all time and losing 3 minutes or anything along those lines. Like I'm sure everyone can work two and two out, but like I I I think it's more important as well that we celebrate the different cultures of pro wrestling. Like CMLL is a completely different way of looking at wrestling than in the AEW, and then New Japan Pro Wrestling is a completely different way of looking at wrestling than AEW. And Stardom and how they formulate their matches is a completely different culture to how we do anything in AEW. So to have like an umbrella like Forbidden Door, where we get to bring all of those people in and celebrate different cultures of pro wrestling, I think that is way more important than just being partners.
So the big story, kind of the last couple of days, has been allegedly TNA pulling performers away from matches with AEW performers. Right here in New York alone, there was supposed to be a match between Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, MJF, allegedly because of I just want to make sure I get the partner conflicts was the quote that was given. Because of partner conflicts, Nick Nemeth now has another match. MJF has an open challenge. Um, if you were in the Indies and that happened to you, where another company came in to kind of pull a performer away from a match, how would you handle that?
Well, so it nearly happened to me once upon a time. We were doing a show in Milton Keynes, and I was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and I was taking on Pete Dunne, who was the WWE UK Champion at the time. And I remember, like, New Japan were a little bit like, "Hey, like, you can do the match, but like, we're a little bit like wanting to know what's going to be happening in the match, if you know what I mean." And like we had to get a lot of things ironed out and sorted. And like Pete's always like a cool guy. Like I can't say enough wonderful things about Pete Dunne. I think he's great. But like the fact that like WWE and New Japan let that match happen and TNA out of all people, like who the fuck do you think you guys are? I'm sorry, like it's like all the fucking talk that they were giving about being a number two, and it's like that's how you want to give permission for these guys to do that match and then pull them. I think that's coward shit, boss. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think it's just, I think that says everything about what you view your talent as. You view them less than AEW talent, and that they don't want to grow and that they don't want to develop and that they don't want to give back to fans. So that's my kind of standpoint on it. And that's me being a hard TNA fan. Like, that those beginning years that I watched, like '04 to '05 era, will always be my favorite era in wrestling, especially. But like, come on, man, like we got all the best guys from there. Actually, now to be fair, I like Steve Macklin as well. He's sick. But like, man, I just think hang your head in shame, honestly.
So, three final questions before we wrap things up. You mentioned being a fan of TNA. Obviously, you're just a huge fan of wrestling. Is there someone that you've seen on WWE, TNA, AAA even that you've never wrestled with that you're like, if I could just get 20 minutes with them, I know we could have a 10-star match?
Yeah, Steve Macklin. Like I generally think he's such a hard worker in a different style that I've actually been in the ring with. So if there was ever a chance to get in the ring with him, I'd love to do that.
Final question. What can we expect from Osprey in 2026 and beyond, considering the time you just had off for the neck injury that you have?
Well, I mean, that's the key thing. I've had 6 months of sitting on my ass doing nothing except for eating food and smoking beautiful green stuff. I have just I've been itching to get back. I've been trying my best to get in the best shape of my life. Like I hate restricting food. Like I haven't had a donut in flipping ages, and I like honestly could cry. Hey, how much I haven't had a donut, and it's flipping pissing me off more than ever. Um, but my whole thing for this year is that I hope I can live up to the expectations that the AEW audience have set me, because it was a very, very high bar that I left on. I hope they can accept that there are certain limitations with me, but I don't think there'll be enough to notice or warrant any displeasure. So I'll give it everything that I've got to give, but like I can only give what my body will allow me to.
Love that. Will Ospreay, good luck this Sunday night at Dynasty. Good luck at Double or Nothing in New York City, Memorial Day weekend. Good luck moving forward. Appreciate your time, brother. Thank you.
Mate, thank you very much.